Barcelona Bulldog meetup. Oh, we're live. That was cool.
How many people?
I don't know how many people. I think it'll probably be like 15 or so.
Nice.
Like I've been getting a lot of RSVPs. I didn't even advertise to the simple programmer list. I just advertised to I just did like a YouTube video saying that we're doing the meetup. So
nice. That's actually impressive because you probably get you're still getting like what, around 2,500 views per video.
Maybe 1,500 I'd say is about.
Okay. So I mean
yeah.
That's like a pretty insane response rate.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Well, if you think about it too, some of the people that so even if you get 1,500 views per video, you're really getting probably a depth of about maybe 7,000 or 8,000 active viewers.
Yeah.
Right, because they're watching videos that interest them. And then if you see Barcelona in the title, that interests you if you're in Barcelona. So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I've got the Instagram, but the Instagram is growing very fast. I mean, it's growing relatively fast. I've got like 350 people on Instagram, but that's serious engagement. It's crazy. So if I post a post on Instagram, I get around 50 or 60 likes out of 350 followers.
Wow.
So it's insane. And if I do a story on Instagram, I get about 100 to 120 views on the story. Out of, again, 350, less than 350 followers. So the engagement level on Instagram is just insane. It's better than email.
Did you send? Well, okay. So keep in mind that you're probably what you've got now is you've got 350 super fans.
Yeah.
So those are like probably the 0.5% of the. Those are probably people that I bet their lead score in Drip is like 1,500.
Yeah, I mean, the growth came mostly from just hashtags, from posting photos and videos, but I'm putting out really high quality content on Instagram. So I'm not just putting out a photo, I'm putting out basically an email.
Okay.
So I'm writing a weekly email or daily email on the Instagram photo. So
okay, that makes sense.
Naked photos.
Yeah, I'm doing naked photos too. That's out, so.
High quality content. That's what Instagram high quality content. As long as you can see boobs, it's high quality.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I didn't send the email, but maybe this weekend I'll send an email to the simple programmer list and tell them the Instagram.
Not this weekend. Next weekend. Let's do it next week. I'm doing I'm opening membership this weekend.
Oh, okay, next week.
So I'm already going to be sending 4 emails. Saturday.
I forgot last weekend.
Why do you do it?
Huh?
No, Josh. Why do you do it on weekends?
Well, okay. So I tried doing it during the weekend the first time, and I got about 50 signups from it. And then last time I did it, I did 3 days in the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I got 50 signups from it. So I figure doing it on the weekend, if I can compress it into 2 days over the weekend, it leaves the whole week open. And I've actually gotten, I had this interesting thing happen where somebody contacted me and said, "Hey, we sell sponsorships on email newsletters. Would you be interested?" And I archived the email. And they followed up and they said, "Hey, we sell sponsorships on email newsletters. Would you be interested?" And I archived the email. And then they did this about 6 times. And I was like, "Oh, fine. All right." And so I signed up with them. And then they've now sold 3 sponsorships, like 3 month-long sponsorships. So this was very unexpected. So now I have a sponsor for almost every day of the week, at least for the next few weeks. So I don't really want to do product launches and stuff with with sponsors at the same time. So
how much are
the so it's right now our rate is like $650 per email. So they're I mean they take the seller is taking a cut out of the monthly price is like $2,600. So they've sold they've sold almost $10,000 worth of
per email?
Advertising.
$2,600. What are you talking about?
It's $650 per email and $2,600 per month. So
is what they're charging you?
No, that's what we're charging for the emails. And then they take a 30% cut.
Oh, 2,600 per email for what? Per month for what? 4 emails or 10 emails or 100
4
emails?
emails. 4 emails.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So we'll see if that's sustainable. So far the engagement rates on the sponsors that they've gotten for us have been pretty low. So I'm not thinking that, I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be a pretty high churn with those, and they might get tired of the churn and not sell us anymore. So we'll see. But yeah, so it just happened really fast. It was like in the space of a week, they'd sold all these sponsorships, and I was like, I had 2 sponsors already, and then they sold 3 more. So that's now Monday through Friday. And I'm like, oh crap. So I'm opening up the membership again this weekend. And Manny noticed that I'm including how to market yourself this time around as a bonus, just as an experiment to see if that helps. I'm not actually advertising it in the emails at all, so it's just kind of like if you see it, if you go to the sales page, you'll see it. And we get,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that way I can walk it back if I want to, and I really don't want people signing up just to get access to the course and then canceling. I really want the main draw. I mean, I'm going to be including more and more content in this membership, but I really want the main draw to still be the community, and the content is helpful, but that's like, I'm going to try not to lead with the content, because otherwise you'll get people that are buying the membership who aren't really really aren't interested in the community at all. And I want
you can always use that as a bait, in the sense they join and then they find out how useful it is, and then they stick around. So
but the problem is when that wasn't even on their radar when they signed up, is getting them interested in it after the fact is really difficult.
It's not if there's value which they initially didn't understand, but now it's visible to them, and they're like, okay, well, I can see value in it, even though I paid for them. How to market yourself, there's actually a lot of value in this thing, so I'm going to stick. It's almost like, okay, think of it like this: you're giving them a trial. You're giving them a trial. You're luring them into having a trial for this thing. So then they take the trial and they realize it's useful, or they take the trial and realize it's not useful. But it's a great, experiment for them as well. Free trial for them in some ways, if you want to put it that way.
Mm-hmm. One thing I'm definitely. Go ahead, Chuck. What?
You can make them feel guilty if they take advantage of you, right?
Yeah, you got to hook them up with a friend in the community, like someone who's like, emailing them and messaging them, so they don't want to like abandon their friend in the community.
One thing I'm definitely going to do is, so I'm working on this coding interview bootcamp course with Jason, and we're going to make. So when people buy that course, they are going to get access to the community, and all of the homework assignments and everything for that course are going to be inside the forum. So they're going to be they're going to be going there every day while they're participating in this month-long course, and they're going to be posting their homework assignments and asking questions and getting feedback and stuff from me and Jason. So that's like that's one way that I'm going to try to use like content to bring people in to the community. So we'll see how that goes. It's going so far. Jason sent me his outline, and we'd initially tried. It was interesting. We initially tried doing I had him try to do like this format where it was like going to be 21 days, a lesson every day. Do a video lesson every day, and it was totally stripping his gears. Like he was having a hard time. He's a very personable and dynamic when you talk to him, but in the videos I thought he was coming across as kind of flat, and it's difficult, right? Like John's really good at it, but most people, when you get in front of a video camera, you kind of go all stiff. So we changed the format. So we're doing, instead of that, I told him to come up with 3 weeks worth of lessons, and we're going to basically do a webinar. and then we're going to still have daily lessons, but they're going to be like a short demo video where he's sharing his screen, walking through something, and then they have a homework assignment. And once we switched the format, like he lit up, and like everything I was getting from him was like really on point. And so I think this is going to work. So with the webinar format, it'll be more live, and I'll be there emceeing and hosting, and then I can ask him questions, and it can be more interactive, and it's not going to be so much like a stand there and talk in front of the camera all by yourself for an hour, you know. And so I think he'll come across a lot better in this format. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to launch that next month. That's my goal. So I'm definitely going to do the affiliate promotion for Pluralsight in the first part of the month, and then I think I'll launch this. I think instead of doing another round of membership next month, I will do this, and we'll be bringing people into the membership group when they purchase the course.
Oh, that makes sense.
Are you guys getting a discount from Pluralsight?
They're doing a sale. They're going to do they're knocking their annual plan down from $299 to $199. So last time they did this, we did like 45,000. Well, we earned $45,000 in commissions. So I think, yeah, that was one of the first promotions. That I think we did the affiliate, the Interview Cake one, and then we did the Pluralsight one. And so I'm going to just basically rerun the same campaign as last time.
Wow. You earned 45. So you guys did. How much did they give you on commissions?
Well, we have a special sweetheart deal with them. I think we were getting double commissions. Yeah. So basically what it came down to was they were paying us their full first year's of revenue as the commissions. So yeah, so it was something like $199 per sign up, something like that. They were paying you $299. What's that?
They were paying you $299 per sign up.
They were paying us like $199, I think.
So how much was the sale price?
$199.
Oh.
So they were it was basically 100% of the first, and then they get the rebills, so they know what their renewal rate is.
Hey, it's free money for them.
Yep. Yeah. Well, if they would look at it that way. They don't look at it that way. They look at it as an expense, but whatever.
Yeah.
I did an interesting test this week. I did another test of of Ryan Levesque's consistency and commitment approach with the multi-step opt-in and like quizzes and stuff. So I got the idea. I was like, I wanted to try, instead of advertising, well, I went back to 5 learning mistakes as the lead magnet on the whole site, because the one that I was using was basically the people that were signing up for it weren't buying anything. Right, and I'd been through I'd been through multiple promotions, and none of them had bought anything, and it was bad. So I went back to 5 learning mistakes, and it was frustrating because the sign up rate for the other pop-up was like 2.6%, and 5 learning mistakes was like 1.3%. That used to perform at like 2.5%, and for whatever reason, for no reason that I can discern, over the last couple of years, or the last year or so, it's dropped off, very slowly dropped off to about 1.3%. So I decided I wanted to try out what I want to do, actually, and I still might do this, but I wanted to try out like something along the lines of my #1 career goal is, and then have like 4 or 5 different things that they could pick from. And then each one's going to pop up a different email opt-in form. So I could kind of hit all of the different, my #1 goal is learn a programming language, get my first programming job, and I could kind of segment people up front like that with one pop-up. So I was like, all right, well, let's just try this. Let's see if, I said, I was like, well, why don't I just try a different approach on the 5 learning mistakes thing? So I said, I put up a pop-up that says, something along the lines of, are you keeping up or overwhelmed and then like which statement describes you. And then there was a, yes, I'm overwhelmed by all the changes that I'm trying to keep up with, or everything I need to learn. No, I'm keeping up just fine. And so I put this thing up and I tested it. I'm testing it A/B against just a straight bare opt-in form. And the first day, it was killing it. It was like, it was almost 2%. It was like 1.6 or 1.8%. It was like a pretty significant jump over the existing pop-up. And I was like, okay, maybe there. What's that?
How much was the pop-up conversion?
The old one was 1.3. The new one was converting at like 1.8 for the first day. It was like a 50% increase or 60% increase. And I was like, okay, maybe they're actually, you know, I've tested this multi-step opt-in thing before. Maybe maybe it's going to work this time. Let's see what happens. So I talked to Ryan Levesque about this and told him, like, every time I've tested this before, it's decreased the opt-in rate. And he insists that every time they do this, it increases the opt-in rate. I've not seen it. I've tested it probably 3 or 4 times now. So day 1, it was killing it. Day 2, I woke up, and in Thrive, the graph's like this. It starts new one, old one. Day 2, they're touching. Day 3, now they've flipped, and now the old one is on top slightly, and the new one is slightly lower. So, man, like I've tested this whole thing multiple times, and Ryan Levesque will even insist that putting a whole huge survey in front of, putting a whole huge survey in front of people will increase your opt-in rate with where it's like 10 steps. And I don't buy it. It's possible that the quality of the subscribers you get is different. And that's very hard to test because you'd have to follow people all the way through. It's possible, though, that if they click a button, you get the same number of people or whatever, but that you get higher quality people if they've taken 2 steps. I don't know, but this certainly has not. Once again, this has not panned out as advertised. I was really excited that first day, though. I almost emailed John, and I was like, "No, I'm going to wait till day 2." Yeah. So I've been burned on this one before.
Have you tried 2-step cards?
What do you mean?
First, it takes the email address, and then it allows you to put your credit card information.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Thrivecart has that.
Right. Have you tried it, and have you positive returns on it? Because I was very inclined to test it last time around.
I haven't tested it. I think Podia does the same thing.
See, that one,
and I think it's a good idea. I think there's nothing wrong with it.
That one makes more sense because you're investing. Like, I mean, I know I've done this from personal experience. I've gone to a card page and it's got all the credit card and address, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm too tired. Like, I don't want to type all this shit. So, but then if they have it in 2 steps where it's like, okay, you put in your email address or whatever, and then you see your total or you calculate shipping, then I'm like, oh, all right, I've already entered this. I might as well just finish.
Yeah,
right?
and
it also allows you to do retargeting and cart abandonment.
Cart abandonment sequences. Hopefully that, because abandonment by itself is like 70%. Usually. Yep. So I would have to run a thorough test to know which one actually, if it really works the way it does.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I went to Thrivecart's, so I'm an affiliate for Thrivecart as well. I'm sure you guys are too. But when I go to their sales page, it's actually just 1 step.
I'm
not sure. I would much rather do what they say. So it seems like it's working because they literally just have that 1-step check-in.
The problem is, like, it's not even worth really considering any of these things at this stage, because if at the best you're going to see like a 10% rise in your sales, right, in your revenue, and it's going to require a lot of effort. And that effort is, you can make more than that much more money, like producing more content to gain more traffic or to sell more things. I always think of it as that's the stage where when you've got, like, I think that's like when you're $1 million company, you're doing about $100,000 to $200,000 revenue per month, then you can afford to hire someone who all they do is test shit, and then it's worth testing this stuff. Then
and you also
like their
like
whole job is just to do this.
You need hundreds of transactions too. So I mean, if you're doing 100 transactions a month, it's probably, John's right. It's probably the lift that you would see from something like this is probably like 1 or 2% higher conversion rate. So you'd need to run it for like 6 months or a year to really know.
True.
So yeah,
but any kind of retargeting ads, etc. as well. Like if you want to invest in ads, you're much better. I mean, I think you're much better off just going and hiring someone to do that shit for you. So you can focus on. I think retargeting works. Trying to do it myself is just too much.
Yep.
But retargeting on YouTube would be another avenue, like targeting on Facebook.
Yep.
YouTube is the same thing, right?
Yep.
YouTube's. Have you tried, John? Have you done any advertising on YouTube? Because it's pretty sophisticated now, right? You can literally be like, if someone watches this video, then show them this ad for the next blah 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 or something like that. Like very sophisticated targeting now.
Yeah, I played with it quite a bit about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, in my mind. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it comes down to, like I said, it's just like if you want to mess with this stuff like optimization, funnel optimization, all this kind of falls into that same category. Is you should be able to hire someone to do it, because if you can't hire someone to do it, then you're doing it. So you're hiring yourself to do it, and you're the most expensive person in your business, or you should be. So if you can't afford to hire someone else to do it, you definitely can't afford to hire yourself to do it. Right. So that's where it's like a catch-22. So I think at the point where you're like, oh yeah, let's just hire, someone, we'll just pay them $50 grand a year and they'll just work on optimizing funnels and Facebook ads. Then, then it's worth doing. But until you're to the point where you're like, yeah, we're just going to pull the trigger and hire someone for $50,000, $60,000 a year, then it just doesn't make sense.
You also need like go ahead, Manny, sorry.
I said it goes back to the same idea of like the one thing, being doing a couple of things well rather than trying to do everything.
Yep.
Like really annoyingly frustrating.
With the YouTube ads, you also need a business model that can support it. I mean, I think you need to be the people that I've seen successful with it have been doing like multi-$1,000 courses or like a $15,000 boot camp or something like that, where you only need one sale to like you can.
But there are different kinds of ads, right? I understand if you're trying to get cold traffic, it makes sense. What you're saying makes sense. But if you're actually going after warm traffic and you're just straight up retargeting, then YouTube ads.
I've done that.
Yeah, no,
I have done that. Yeah. So.
And John is right. Like all of these are marketing channels. YouTube advertising is a marketing channel. Facebook advertising is a marketing channel. Your email marketing is a marketing channel. So where do you spend your energy? Oh,
right.
Email works. So might as well just keep pushing that agenda.
I'm trying something new with the membership this time. I'm putting up a site-wide banner with Thrive Ultimatum, pushing people to, and I think I mentioned how to market yourself. Yeah, I put how to market yourself. So I said like, it's like a, join and get this $300 bonus, and then click to go to the sales page. So I'm going to try that and see how many clicks that drives and see if it moves the, what's that?
This weekend?
Yeah, this weekend.
Well, then you might as well tell them in the email, man. Why are the emails?
Well, no, because I mean, I decided to do the banners after I already had the emails written and scheduled, for one thing. That was a big part of it. Actually, I decided to do the bonus after I had the emails written and scheduled. So, but I really don't want to. I don't want to make a huge deal out of it. So I've tried the banner before. I did a sale on how to market yourself a few days ago, or a couple weeks ago, with just a banner, which is nice because it lets me get in front of all the site traffic but it does not. I don't have to clog up the email bandwidth. And I think I actually generated like $1,000 in sales. It was like I marked it down from $199 all the way down to $49, and I did like 21 sales. So it was like $1,000 with no implications for the email list at all. So it seems like it helps. It's not. I mean, it's a much smaller number of sales than we'll get through the email. But I might pick up a few more with it.
It might make sense for the email actually. You could put a PS at the bottom of the emails and say, make sure you check out the special bonus that we have. Like we've got a surprise bonus
a good idea.
for you.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Like I sent you with the that was so brilliant. I sent you guys that or no, I sent it to Josh, but that book, the Building a Brand Story, at the beginning of the audiobook, he's like, oh, make sure you go. I've got some bonus content, and so make sure you go to whatever blah 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 and check out this I've got some bonus, some material. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but he phrased it just perfectly. Where I was like, oh, this is so much better. Like it's like he was like, since you bought this, like you're entitled to some bonus content. I got a special goodie bag for you, or something for you here. Make sure you claim it, right? And I thought that was brilliant because we've been doing opt-ins like that on the books where we're trying to sell them. We're telling them ahead of time what they're going to get. It's better to just say, hey, basically, since you bought this and you paid this money, you're entitled to this thing. So go collect this thing that you got for free, right? That's a much better, and it's a surprise, right? So like it gets like curiosity going. But I think that's the way to do it for sure, to do the opt-in.
And also PS gets read more than the body of the email itself.
I don't think that's true. Actually.
I think that's true.
Because I've tested links in multiple points in the email. So the whole PS thing started back when direct mail was the marketing channel. Okay. So you get this 12-page letter. You open it up, you pull it out, and you're like, this guy's just like launching into the story. What is this thing? How much is it going to cost me? So you go to the back and you read the PS. And it's physical and it happens like that. So what I've watched screen recordings of people reading our sales pages, and I have almost never seen anyone scroll. Like people read it sequentially. Nobody scrolls to the bottom and then scrolls back up. Like I would say probably less than 10%.
What I saw, my experiments is like when there is no link in the email, people are usually looking for a link in the email, or at least that's what I am used to. So if there's no link in the body, I'm scrolling till I see a link, and if the link is in a PS, then that's where I am going to read the PS and then read the email just to see what the hell it is about.
I've tested putting a call to action right at the end of an email versus ending the email signature PS with the same call to action, and the one in the body worked better.
Better?
Yes.
So did you put the little arrow though?
No, I don't remember.
The dash greater than sign? Dude, that's the key. That's the key. That's I get the most clicks on that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, the PS thing is I think that's a holdover from direct mail that probably doesn't. I'm going against a lot of the copywriters out there right now, but from what I've seen, I don't think it's as big of a deal as it used to be.
We're in the micro optimization.
Test it seriously. Do an A/B test and see.
What was I was saying something. So yes. Anyway, so I'm testing the Thrive Ultimatum banner. I put it on the sales page as well, so it has the countdown timer on the sales page. So we'll see. We'll see if that helps at all.
At War Room, and this guy Paul Monaco, he runs a golf shop, online golf shop, and he did this experiment. He has a list of 100,000 or so. He sent out an email saying, "Do you want a coupon for 20% off Echo men's clothing for golf, whatever, Echo clothing, right?" And in the body it says, "If you want, just reply back to me and I will send it to you. I don't want it online on the website. I just want to, I'll just send it." And
that's smart.
he did that. So in 4 days, I mean, usually I actually saw his. I was like, I didn't believe his number, so I literally have him like show me his like cart numbers and all that stuff. I was like, no way, because usually he does like $2,000-3,000 in sales on any given like email like this. All he did was, like, as people's responses started coming in saying, hey, yes, I want that coupon, he would like literally respond back with the coupon itself. And that was the emailing, right? 2 emails. Basically, first is, do you want this email? The second is, here's the coupon. Or do you want this coupon? Here's the coupon. They did $30,000 in 4 days compared to them doing $1,000 in an email
Nice.
when they send out the coupon by.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I mean,
That's
I might have to test that. I've tried. Okay, so I really like that approach. Like I've tried this in the past where tried to make people respond to me try like the latest thing I tried was I tried putting when I advertise when I mention the membership program, I send people to a waitlist page because I only want to open it up every so often. So I tried this thing where I was like, okay, this was actually James Schrenko recommends this, where you give them a wait, you still send them to the wait list, you have them go through that process, but then when they get to the last page, you're like, well, if you want in now, fill out this application form, and we'll consider letting you in early. So it seemed like a really great idea. I mean, like, because you'd get the most interested people would be replying. So I set this thing up. And so I left it up for about 2 weeks. I was getting like 3 or 4 people a day, sometimes 5 people a day filling out the form. And so I was sending all these emails back, and I had 1 person actually sign up. And it seemed like the people that were responding were I was getting a little suspicious because it seemed like they were kind of like English not the first language. They probably couldn't even afford the membership anyway. I think they thought it was free or something. So I really like that. I've tried it a bunch of different times, but I think I should try it with the coupon code. I like that. It would be a pain in the ass for that.
That's a big difference, though. In fact,
Yeah.
not just a coupon code, but an actual graphical coupon, right? That says 20% off or whatever. And here's the reason why.
Yeah.
So imagine this. Imagine that you saw someone standing on the street corner, right? And they were handing out free Slurpee coupons at, 7-Eleven, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they came up to you and they're like, hey, if you just answer this one question, this one survey question, I'll give you a free Slurpee coupon. Like, you wouldn't normally go into 7-Eleven and buy it. Like, you don't care. It's like, what is it worth? Like $1 or $2, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have that free coupon in your hand and you had to do something to get it, you're going to use that damn thing. Like, you're like, oh, I better go to 7-Eleven and better go use this free Slurpee coupon. And that's the effect, the psychological effect that happened there. It's not the replying. It's the fact that you did something and then you got something. And now if you don't use that 20% off Echo men's golfing clothing apparel, now you've lost it. Like, you've wasted it. So it's like, I have to use this thing because I got this, because I earned this thing, because I'm getting it. So that's that whole effect that's going on.
Yeah, it's the sunk cost bias.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You put effort into it, now you better recoup your effort, otherwise you worked for something. It's way more delicious than you get something free.
So you make them jump through the small hoop, give them the thing, and then they've got now they've got something. And the more tangible it seems, that's why, like, in the long form sales pages in the direct response, like having the coupon code where it had the little cutout, so it's like they tested that and it was so much more effective. It's because it feels more like it's an actual ticket or coupon or something. So I would say to test it like that, and I bet we'd get a good response.
Yeah, I'll have to try. Maybe what I'll do is try that sometime with like 2,000 people, so that poor Rodrigo is not answering 5,000 emails.
Yeah.
And then we can.
Well, no, if you don't get that much of a response, as in very few people will actually be interested in responding back to you. And not only that, your deliverability to those people will go up because they're not responding to your emails. So.
Well, it can also be an email address. I mean, the best way to set up something like this would to have an email address like offer whatever at simpleprogrammer.com. and then it's an autoresponder. So if you email it anything, whenever it receives an email, it just replies back with the coupon. So
yeah,
you wouldn't care.
The other thing, like, so his numbers sort of like this: 100,000 list of 100,000 email. He got 1,500 to actually respond back, because that's usual click-through rate. So you can assume the click-through rate,
right,
1.5% click-through is basically 1.5% reply rate, which is perfect. But the only problem is with 1.5% click-through, most of people will not use that coupon. In this case, they are actually using the damn thing.
Yeah.
So 1,500 responses at best. But the other way, exactly what John said, or you don't even need to set up another email. Once you let the responses keep coming in, so here's another thing he did. What he did was he said, send me a reply and also tell me why you would be interested in it. So people gave him like all sorts of answers, and really interesting answers into why they liked it or why they like Echo. Like he learned a lot about their customer, which he normally wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, Rodrigo's gonna hate me. Oh my goodness.
Just
So
be okay.
Yeah, that's cool. You know what I might do is I might, if I did something like that too, I might limit I might segment it differently. I might limit it geographically. So I did some digging into our list this week, because I don't remember why I even went down this track, but I got interested in like how are the different geographic regions responding, because I get like whenever I send out an email, I feel like I get a lot of we have like 40% of our new signups are coming from like Asia, and those people never buy anything. Like we get the per subscriber value is like 27 cents. It might be 49 cents or something, but it's like normally it's a subscriber to us is worth like $8 to $10. The Asian segment is like it's pennies. And they also reply a lot. Like I get a ton of email volume coming back with questions that are frustrating because they're like simple things that you should Google. And I like getting questions when they're long, thoughtful questions, and I'll reply to just about anybody if it's a good, long, thoughtful question. But the like,
hello, sir. How do I C++?
Yeah. Yeah. We get that question probably 30 times a week, and
yeah,
it's maddening. So anyway, so I got interested. I dug into the geography a little bit, and I figured out I have everyone segmented in drip by continent. So I looked. So 40% of our traffic to the site comes from the U.S., and I was like, I had always thought that 40% of our email list was U.S. Not so much. It is like 20% of our email list is US based. 40% is Asian, 20% is Latin American, and then like Europe and Australia make up about 20%. So I was really surprised by the huge disparity in the traffic between the traffic and the actual signups, because the Asian segment only makes up about 20 or 30% of our traffic to the site, but they opt in at like a 2 to 4 times higher rate than the US subscribers. But once they get onto the list, they don't do anything. They don't open emails, they don't click anything, they don't buy anything. So I'm like, John had a theory that maybe they think they need to enter their email address to continue. Like the website's like locked and you have to enter your email address if you want to read anything, which I guess is possible. But yeah, I was surprised because I was expecting them to at least be engaging with the content, but they really don't. The US subscribers are twice as engaged. Like they fight you getting onto the list, but once they're on the list, they enjoy it. Yeah. So that's what led me to testing the opt-ins this week. Is like, man, why is it so hard to get the US people on the list when they're clearly digging the content once they're on there. So anyway, that was surprising to me. I was pretty shocked by the disparity there. But I think that's all I've got going on right now. That's
against the Asians.
What's that?
ranting against the Asians.
No comments, just observations.
You know, right?
Why you no buy? Only look. Buy now.
Do the right thing. Have you seen the Russell Peters episode where he talks about Chinese and Indians negotiating?
No,
You know Russell Peters? You know who he is?
I don't actually. No.
He's a comedian of Indian descent.
Okay.
But he's Canadian. And he makes fun of almost every ethnicity out there, especially like Indians and Chinese and Middle Eastern. He's like really after them. Doesn't do so much for the white people, but everyone else, like, he really goes after them. So he was talking about how if Indians and Chinese start to negotiate, it's like the end of the world because nobody's going to budge. It's just going to be like.
Well, my first experience with that was when I was a teenager. I mean, I was homeschooled, and so I was not, I was pretty sheltered. And then I went to work at Radio Shack in Warren, Ohio, and we'd have Indian people come in sometimes, and they'd be haggling with me. I'm like, I work at Radio Shack. Like, what do you expect me to do? Like, I can't give you just a discount because you ask for it. And they'd be haggling with me, and yeah, it was hilarious. It was just it was a pretty big shock.
That's funny. You should have just given him a deal, Josh.
I can hook you up if you sign up for Sprint long distance with your home phone number. I can give you $10 off. I can do that.
We should do the name your price thing, or like can haggle, like price is negotiable.
Yeah.
Do a sale and do it.
There you go.
Somebody else talk.
I got an email from somebody who listens to Entre Programmers, and they were like, I heard on the last Entre Programmers that you had a rough week. And I'm like, I complain too much. I felt a little bit weird about that. This week's been a ton better though. I've been working on the book. I got 6,000 words written yesterday.
Oh wow, 6,000. That's damn good.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I'm aiming for something similar today. I really want to have a rough draft done by the end of next week. Yeah, I have it up for pre-sale, and I'm gonna do basically push on my list and see if I can get people to buy it this next week.
Do it all at once, though. I mean, when you push it all at once. You want to launch, you want to launch it on Amazon. I was talking to Chuck about this last week, Josh, about like we should have a discussion and see if maybe we want to try and do something. If Chuck's interested in, like, what kind of terms we might be able to offer for doing like a launch for his book or something, or publishing.
Yeah, I'd have to see what the terms are, but yeah. So should I wait then until I have the rough draft and then do the big launch? Amazon?
Don't sell anything until you're ready to push the launch. But you want to rocket that thing up on Amazon as high as you can. You want all of the forces converging at one time.
Okay.
So you're publishing on Amazon then? I think this is a change.
Yeah, I'm self-publishing, so
okay.
I'm going to put it on Amazon, and I'm going to sell it on my website if you want it there.
Okay.
Josh, if you buy it, you can buy it directly from his website.
Yeah, I would even probably not even do it directly on your website. I would just push them to Amazon from your website.
Yeah, because isn't that the counter, like the ultimate sales, getting it from Amazon's counter? That's what you want to rank.
Yes.
Well, and if they leave a review, then it says they bought this.
Yeah,
which makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, you'll cost yourself a little bit of money, right? I mean, if you sell directly, obviously you make more money, but
the point is to make 1,000 sales and make 70% of each of those sales versus making 100 sales
and make 100%.
Because Amazon is a whole traffic machine that can find customers for you versus you having to go out and find them.
Well, the other thing is I haven't put this in the book yet, but I kind of want the first page or something to basically say, here are some of our podcast episodes that are relevant or something like that. So that if, the people are kind of kicking the tires, they'll get exposed to the other things on the website, go here to get this bonus that has to do with the book, or go here, and kind of drive some traffic that way as well. So
Try to get them to opt in.
yeah, and then I can get them to opt in. Exactly.
Not then. Give them freebie post opt in, right? Rather than pre opt in.
What do you mean?
Put it behind an opt in gate.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be hey.
Right.
So if they're looking, because you can usually look at like the first so much of the book.
Yeah.
And so I want it to be really easy for them to basically hit a page that says, go get the whatever it is I decide to give away.
Yeah.
And then
basically
you're advertising to opt in to get it. Yeah.
You're advertising your opt-in page in the free sample.
The book should be an advertisement for the opt-in. That's what most people are doing, right?
Well, he's doing both.
And here's the order. Your book is mostly text, right? Not code?
Yes.
Okay, so the order...
There's no code. It's how to find a job, so it's...
Oh, perfect. Then the order to launch this is really, you want to do the print book first, and then you want to do the Kindle, and then you want to do the audio.
Oh, really?
And to separate them out by a couple of months.
I disagree with this.
The thing is, here's why. You don't want to compete against yourself in Amazon rankings. Like, if you just do the print version of the book first, you'll sell a bunch of that. In fact, I'm trying to decide if it's better to just do like a hardback version of the book where it's more expensive and do a hardcover. In fact, I think a lot of books, they do that. They don't even do the soft cover. They do, in fact, a lot of books, if you watch it, they do the hardcover first, and then the Kindle and audio, and then they later release a soft cover like a year or two later. You'll see that happen.
Are books not launching? And is that true? Are books not launching with the Kindle version? I don't know that that's true.
Mainstream books usually do, but I'm just saying the optimal way for you to rank in Amazon would be not to compete with yourself.
I'm kind of going back and forth on this because I really do want the exposure, and so the ranking matters. But I do want to start driving traffic pretty early. Can you still do like preview on the page, on the first bunch of pages, even if it's a hardcover or soft cover?
You can do look inside. Yeah, you can. You can do that.
But if I were going for an optimal book launch, I think the way I would do it is probably do, if it's a really if it's a title that would be worth it, a hardcover or a soft cover, I suppose. But print book first. Throw like everything at that because one is going to have the highest profit margins too, so it's going to have a lower volume than the Kindle, but you can get that sucker to rank up there for sure. And then you can basically relaunch the book when you launch the Kindle version. Okay? And people that really like the book are going to buy that anyway. Plus, and then the price sensitive people are going to come and buy that because you're going to launch that for 99 cents or whatever, or $1. Right. $2, right? So there you're going to make a ton of sales in there, and you won't be like, you'll already have the print version ranked, then you get the Kindle version in, and then you come in with the audio and you get to relaunch again. But then the audio, you're adding extra content. You're like, hey, I'm going off the script, I'm adding all this extra content, and then you get to relaunch again.
All right, so here's the counterpoint. So to rank, well, I think it is a little bit easier to rank with a print book. You don't need to sell as many copies. However, it's much harder to sell a print. The print book is harder to sell. You can't, like what we were able to do with the career guide was we really promoted the Kindle version. We marked it all the way down to 99 cents, and we were able to make a ton of sales and rank that sucker. With the pricing experiments that I've done, I have not seen any correlation at all between the price of the print book and the price. Well, if when the Kindle book and the print book are priced similarly, it doesn't really. They seem to be independent of each other. I really don't think they compete with each other that much. I think maybe there's maybe 10 or 20% of people who would only buy one or the other, or who would buy which. Like, I think if you just launch the print version,
Yeah,
there's a bunch of people who will not buy it because there's no Kindle version.
Right.
I am one of those people, and so
Now,
I don't think that you really compete with yourself all that much. Like, you might compete with yourself a little bit, but they're pretty independent of each other.
No,
Well-
here's the way I look at it. Lately, what's been happening is that a lot of the books that are coming out, their Kindle price and their paperback or hardcover price is almost the same, like $14.99 and $15.99 for the hardcover. So in that case, I will always order the hardcover because it's a much better experience compared to Kindle reading, right? It's so much more denser and so much more easier to get into a book when it's paperback or hardcover. However,
Well, I think it
when the
generally.
$9.99 and the hardcover is $15.99, then I'll order the Kindle.
and that's why you compete with yourself. Is because what happens is when you have a Kindle book for 99 cents or $4.99, and you're selling a print book for $15, you end up stealing the sales. Like, it doesn't. Whereas people, if their only option was, I know, but if their only option was $15, they would buy the book.
I've never bought into that you can force people to do something they don't want to just because it's the only option.
Look at Cracking the Coding interview. Cracking the Coding interview. Look it up now on Amazon. See if there's a Kindle version.
There is not a Kindle version. Nope. But we don't know that. Okay, so we've done sales. We've done multiple promotions where the book was marked down to 99 cents, and our CreateSpace sales did not change.
No, but that's it doesn't matter. It's like you're taking, okay, your very first launch, when you first launch the book, that's when there's the most excitement for the book. That's when you can get someone to pay the highest price for the book, right? That's why you come up with the hardcover first. It's because they want the book, they'll pay whatever the price is. It's harder to sell the hardcover later, right? That's why publishers launch the hardcover first. It's harder to sell it later. Some books, in fact, it's like, and you'll see this all the time. You'll see a book that it's like hardcover release date, right? And you can't buy the softcover, and it's like $25. And I've done this before. I'm like, oh fuck, well, I want this book. I'm going to pay $25. Like, there is no, like, I would have bought the softcover for $9, but it's not available yet. So if you want it on release date, you're going to pay the $25 for it. So that's why I say that strategy is better, because you can sell the Kindle, and you can push the sales in the Kindle. The harder one is if you're going to have a print book. Otherwise, don't have a print book. The other option is don't have print at all, which I think, I don't know. I mean, that's an okay choice. But if you're going to have print and you want your print to rank and you don't want to like hurt your print, what happens is the Kindle hurts the print. It doesn't work the other way around, but the Kindle hurts the print because of the pricing mostly. And that's the thing. It's like, it makes more sense.
I think it bleeds off some sales.
I think what it really comes down to, and you can correct me if I'm hearing you wrong, John, is what you're saying is that it's going to bleed off some of those sales because some people are going to want the content today. And so they will buy the print book if they don't have any other choice because they want that content now. And then if you come back around and sell the Kindle version later, then what happens is then all the people who wanted the ebook will come in and they'll buy it then, and you can essentially do another launch, which is something that I really like, because ultimately the book for me is it kind of serves two purposes. One is that I mean, I want to make money on it, but the other thing is that I'm putting together a course, right, that correlates with the book. And so if I can go out and I can do a launch multiple times with the book and promote the course, 3 times instead of 1 time, that makes a lot of sense to me too. I don't know.
And if you have a choice, you absolutely want to sell print books more than you do Kindle books, because print books sit on people's bookshelves.
I agree with that completely.
So that's why I'm like, if you can optimize print book sales as much as possible, and that's the only order to do it is to launch it first exclusively as a print book. In my mind, that's going to get you the best sales of the print book and rank it the highest to start. which is going to give you the best momentum with it possible, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, later on you come in, you launch the Kindle, you can launch it for 99 cents. It's fine. But if you have a hardcover book and then you launch a Kindle book for 99 cents at the same time, you're definitely killing. Like, it's so hard for someone to say, well, shit, I'm going to pay $15 for this print book when I could get the Kindle version for 99 cents. It's just like your price anchoring is working against you in that case. So I don't know, that's
versus a $15.99 hardcover, you're gonna have a lot more Kindle sales at that point, even at $9 or $10. Because as soon as you see a substantial price difference, I'm going with the Kindle. But if
That's
it's like
true.
$1 difference or $2 difference, I'll go with the hardcover.
yeah.
Yeah, and I really am interested in ranking more than anything else in Amazon, because I want to draw in those new people. You know, the money's nice. You know, I've been able to pay my bills with advertising and sponsorship to this point, and I do want to build my product. You know, my product offerings, but in the meantime, I mean, all of that is going to be driven, I think, by having stuff in other places, and I think Amazon's an outpost that I don't have to fight as hard in order to compete in.
I got to drop off.
Not as many other people are there, so
I got to drop off so I can hit the gym because I got that meetup tonight.
Cool.
Should we do you want to do thoughts real quick, or?
Sure.
I'm afraid if I drop off, will it kill the whole call?
I think it probably will.
I think it will eventually. Yeah, if you started it, like
Okay.
if you close the window, I think it gives us a little bit of time for you to try and come back. But yeah,
Okay. Otherwise, I can't even stop because none of you guys can stop the broadcast either, right?
Right.
Unless you
It'll
log
just
into
be a
the
4-hour long episode.
Unless you log into the Entrepogrammer account, that might work. But anyway, I'll just give you my thought real quick then. Mine is I saw someone on who actually respect in the fitness industry saying about how like people say that it's too hard. Like they take the hard path, they do things that are unnecessary and difficult, and they claim that that you have to do all this work and effort, but it's a lot easier than that. And my answer is kind of, I get what he's saying, but to call bullshit on that, because sometimes you need to just choose a difficult path, right? Like the thing is, like it's not about the goal, and it's actually not even about the journey. It's about what you become on the journey. So the path that you choose is very important. Whether even though there's multiple paths that can take you to the same destination, the harder path takes you there and changes who you are as you go down that path. So sometimes in life, it's better to just choose the hard path because it is the hard path. Obviously, there's limits to that. You shouldn't just always choose things because they're harder. But in general, sometimes when you have the choice, pick the difficult path.
Yeah.
I think life's hard enough. No, honestly, I mean, I'm listening to John, and I'm like, yeah, taking the harder path, it definitely changes you as a person. But I don't see any reason to go looking for a challenge unless you want the outcome, right? You want the change or want the outcome or have some goal in mind for it.
The thing is, like, in my mind, that is the purpose of life, right? It's not the goal.
Well, fair enough.
So,
but life has a way of, if there's a lesson you've got to learn, life has a way of throwing it at you, and then it's up to you to either rise to the occasion or walk around it.
Yes and no. I would say that life will throw a lesson at you, but just like the warrior in combat who has not trained, he will learn the lesson, but it would be better to proactively learn the lesson and then be able to utilize it, right? Like one way or the other. Like the pain that you thrust upon yourself is easier to bear and is more beneficial. The pain that the world and others thrust upon you still teaches you a lesson, but it's a lot more difficult to bear, and the lesson comes a lot harder.
Yeah, I'll tag on to this thought, this whole idea here. I think it was Occam, William Occam, the guy who figured out the Occam's razor, or maybe someone else who said, I wouldn't pay a dime for simplicity on this side of complexity, but I would give my life for simplicity on far side of complexity. And what that means is a lot of these gurus or heroes, all these people who are saying all these things, they have already walked their complex path, and now they have figured out, okay, what are the things that can be done simply in order to do this thing and to make it work. But for a new guy or for someone who's starting off to say, I just want things simple is a dangerous mistake. It will kill you, in the sense it will kill your endeavor in that specific effort, because trying to go simple will just mean that you're not doing the things you need to do in order to get the result. But once you've done that thing, once you've walked the path of complexity, once you've walked the path of hardship, now you can actually figure out what are the right things to do. Now it's much easier to do the right things. Now you know where the leverage is, where the 80-20 is. Now everything is much simpler. But it's easy for the guy who has walked the complexity to say that, but not easy for the new guy who's just walking into it. So it's almost impossible for the new guy to just say, I'll just do the simple things. It's not going to work. You're going to fail. You have to walk the path of complexity to get to the side of simplicity.
I'm going to go with scarcity is everything. I sent out, just as a test, Manny, that email that I sent out this week where I mentioned, it wasn't a sales pitch, I just mentioned the membership and linked out to the sales page for it. And I always have that be the waiting list. This time, just as an experiment, I left it open just to see if anybody would bite on it. Nothing. 80,000 people read the email. I got over 100 click-throughs on it and zero bites. And so I'm really glad that, like, I really think that this model that I'm doing with the open closed principle is the only way to actually sell something like this. Like, if I were sending emails every day and like it was just open and available at all times, I don't think I would be anywhere near where I am now.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Open close principle of marketing. I'm gonna coin that.
You should. You're gonna come up with the other solid principles.
Yeah, 3% of the marketing crowd will like think I'm awesome, and everybody else will be like, huh?
What a nerd.
I think every guy who has a big ticket product has basically come to the same conclusion, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Johnny Dumas used to do weekly webinars, and that's the only time you could buy the product. Same, Pat Flynn is doing the same thing now. He's doing these weekly webinars, and he literally only opens the door and closes the door for that duration. And you can't buy it at any given now. And Folio has been doing this shit for 5 years, 10 years now. He only sells during March.
Yeah, I had a guy email me and say, man, like, I always miss your sales. Like, there's no reason they need to be time constrained like this. You'd make so many more sales if you just left them open and I could buy later. I'm like, no, my friend, you do not. You have never done this. Trust me.
Counterintuitive, my friends.
Yeah. My thought is mostly just going to be, so I was on a call before this. That's why I was late. And they were trying to talk me into coming out for like this elite business thing. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but anyway, they wanted me to come out, and it was this business intensive where they were going to help me like with marketing and stuff. And anyway, I'm not sure exactly if it's gonna get me where I want to go when I want to be there. And mostly it's because my vision's gotten foggy on some of this stuff. And so I really just want to push people. Your vision is going to change. That's just a fact. And so, be willing to sit down and think about it and roll with it. But you need to have one, right? If you don't know where you're trying to end up, it makes it really hard to make good decisions about what you're doing now. So, and the thing is like most of the time when I'm making decisions that are going to affect the next few months. And so even if I make the wrong decision based on my long-term vision, I mean, that'll self-correct as I get further down the road and get better information. So, go back, reevaluate, who am I? What am I after? What am I trying to get to? And yeah, back to John's point, the one thing that I do agree with him on is that sometimes you're going to see something coming, and you're going to have to work those muscles now in order to be prepared for it later. And anyway, just make sure that you're working toward that vision and that you're willing to reevaluate it, so you're not locked into something that will no longer make you happy.
True. All right, we're done here.
Yeah, I think we are.
I think this is our shortest show in a while.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Except for the ones we didn't do.
I think I'll see you next week. I might be traveling, like going back home next week. I'm not sure what the time
Okay.
is, but I will try to make it.
Alrighty.
All right, see you guys.
See you.
Bye.